Good afternoon, and welcome back to another Monday Motivation Moment. I am Terry Ann Porter, Life Coach, TA. Got my cup of tea ready for me today. It's here in the Midwest, autumn is just starting to set in. A nice warm cup of tea right now as the weather starts to change. I just find that so relaxing and so enjoyable between the tea and the changing weather. But as autumn begins to take shape here, I notice that many of the changes that take place are kind of small. Right now, the leaves are beginning to change color, and the trees are starting to drop them away. I've got to clear off my deck every other day from those falling leaves. It's not a sudden change, it's kind of a slow process that happens. And I notice that it's those little things that catch us off guard. We don't even notice it until suddenly it's here, like the weather. The hot summer days were here just yesterday, and suddenly we're looking at cold coming in. And the autumn changes seem to slowly take place. I see this often in our children, this kind of slow change from, for example, from summer to winter. Where did autumn go? Where did our children go? They grow up so fast. I remember taking my little ones to their first day of preschool. It seems like just yesterday. But now, one of my daughters is experiencing the concern that occurs now that her little one is a licensed driver. My other daughter, she's beginning to feel the pangs of that empty nest as her little one is becoming a man, stepping out on his own. And they too, they recall what it seemed like was just yesterday. They were so excited to hear their little ones speak their first words, take their first steps, go into a classroom and letting go of their little hands. It seems like yesterday. What happened? Little things can change. We know that these changes need to happen, but still, there's this little thing that we call worry that kind of creeps in. Do you ever worry about things? If we're not worried about our children, maybe it's relationships, money, our jobs. There are a million things that we can find to worry about. What good does that worry do? What does it change? And why do we worry? Well, when worry starts to creep in, although there are many other questions involved, I think there are two main questions that I have found to ask yourself when you can feel that worm of worry start to creep in on you. And I think the first one would be, what are you really worried about? See, many times worry is a mask for something else entirely. You need to take a hard look and ask yourself some pointed questions to get to the heart of the matter. Like, there may be a personnel change somewhere in your office. Are you suddenly starting to worry now? Now, are you worried about the office, the other people, or are you worried about your own job? Is there something more to it? Now, using the examples that I made of my grandchildren, what's the true worry here? Perhaps it's more than just a new phase of life they're entering. Could some part of the worry maybe be self-focused on the new role that the parent has now? Is there more to it? As each one is telling me about the stages that their children are going through, I remember my feelings of them going through it. And then my mother's comments about when I was going through it. So what is the true worry there? Are you worried about maybe, are they going to go do what they used to do? Oh gosh, I hope they don't. But they've got to go on. Or is there more to it? You see, worry is just that little bitty thing there, but what is the true worry about? Once you get a clear understanding of what the real issue is, it's easier to address it and halt the worry before it takes over completely. So if the first question is, what are you really worried about? I think the second one might be, is this something I can control? We're very good at worrying about something we can't change. One of the hardest lessons in my life was accepting my children were growing up. I can't change that fact. Something we all worry about. I've heard many people comment it. How about the weather? We can worry about the weather tomorrow, but let's be serious. What difference does it make if it snows tomorrow? Is there anything you can do to keep the snowflakes from falling? Is there anything you can do from changing that thermometer as it lowers? As hard as it can be, sometimes we're just going to have to go with the flow and adapt with the circumstances. Weather changes. Children grow up. Jobs change. And life goes on. And it goes on whether I am in a state of worry or not. My worry doesn't stop it. So for me, this is where I turn worry into prayer. And I lay it at the feet of my Savior. I have learned that I can live in constant fret and I can worry over everything that I have absolutely no control over. Or I can live in peace that is beyond the understanding of many. And that is a time that I certainly put on my tiara and I remind myself whose I am. I am a child of God. If there is nothing I can do about the situation, worry will not change one iota of it. And the only one affected by my worry is me. It affects me. It takes my peace. But it doesn't change anything. What are you worried about today? Worry becomes a thing of the past when we're mindful of it and we don't let it become obsessive. What are you worried about? How do you handle it when you worry? Whether you're watching live or by replay, I would love to see your comments below. What do you do when you can feel that worm of worry start to creep into your life? How do you handle your worry? Remember, with a change of perspective, stepping out of worry, you may notice possibilities and new pathways that you can walk upon and proceed through the situation with peace. Imagine the difference a life would be when you're not in a state of worry. I am Terry Ann Porter, Life Coach TA. Stepping away from worry today, sipping on my cup of tea, and hoping that you have yourself a terrific week.